Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the First Chapter with Jolonda and Olivia. So, as you can see, we're missing our third person. We thought she'd be back today, but she's not, and the show must go on. So, here we are. So, because we like to attempt to stay current on things. We've decided, and I will be honest and say mostly Olivia because she is the one that is more into the music scene. And recently, 50 Cents put out a dossier about P. Diddy using some footage that he comprised and some other footage that was gotten from other means. It's live on Netflix right now. It's called The Reckoning, a four-part miniseries. And we decided to discuss it because it seems to be the topic of the hour. So this is going to be kind of free flowing, basically, our opinions, having been there through the majority of this man's career, whether we paid attention or not, but we were there. And it's basically just our opinion on the current event. So hopefully you enjoy it. And we'll go ahead and get started. So, as I said, Olivia is a self proclaimed hip hop head. So she knows the history, she knows the beginning, she knows the ins and outs, and she knows the players. I like music, but I really don't care about the people behind it. So she was telling me about it and that I should watch it because it would be interesting. So I gave it a shot. I watched it all in one setting today, and I'm not happy with it. So, Olivia, do you think that this documentary is an accurate portrayal of the things that went on from the 90s to current to today concerning Shawn Combs and his rise to infamy?
Yes, I do. Um, the document uh, of this man's life that was caught started with his own film group. So, uh, watching the video or mini series, as you said, um, he decided to have cameras follow him, and seeing just the interaction between him and his lawyers and him and the people around him. Um, I feel like it definitely portrayed him the way he truly feels and truly honestly acts.
So, this is an aside. Why would you think that he would hire a team to follow him and record everything? Like what would
I
you
think
assume the mindset is?
I think he thought that all of this would go away. I
Mm,
think he hired a team to record him because he truly felt in his heart of hearts that he would be he would never be arrested. He would if he when he went to court uh about these allegations, he would have said what he needed to say. People, because he is P. Diddy, Shawn Combs, whatever, would be like, we love him so much, we're gonna let him off and he's gonna go on about his life. I think that's why he recorded it.
don't you think that's
Because
kind of
I
sad?
truly don't believe that he thought that he was guilty in his mind.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
So
So,
what did you think of it?
well, I didn't care for him when I was first introduced to him
Hmm.
as a young guy doing the AR, the A&R.
Hmm.
Um, so I never followed him. And then when he
Hmm.
would pop up here and there, I didn't care for him again. There was never a term of endearment for him. However, I appreciated the music that he pushed. I appreciated the artists he worked with. I liked them. This is hard for me because I'm trying to be open, not skewed,
Hmm.
but I'm skewed.
Hmm.
And I like him. I think he's a crap human being. Even if this had never come out, I think he's a crap human being. Um,
100%.
I feel that he did get away with it. I don't know what's the punishment.
Well, according to the documentary, he got 50 months, which is 4 years, with time served because he was in jail during the time of his trial on
Uh, no,
um,
I didn't.
trafficking of prostitutions. So
I
bringing them
thought
over
that that
state
was
lines.
that was innocent.
No, it was bringing prostitutes, which would be trafficking over state lines.
Oh, that okay.
It wasn't
Okay.
It wasn't of drugs or anything like that. It was that and something else because he got found not guilty on the RICO charge.
Okay.
He was found not guilty on the rapes and the abuse.
So what do you think about that?
I think that the drawers let him off on those things because he is P. Diddy and a lot. Um, the one drawer that they talked to, she was a fan.
You
And
could see it
because
in
she
her
was a
eyes.
fan, I believe that they let him off on a lot of things that he should have been convicted of. Now, I need everyone to understand I never liked P. Diddy myself. Like Jolanda said, it was the music that
Mhm.
had always kept me listening to Bad Boy
Right.
and listening to Uptown, where he worked. Um, I was first introduced to him hearing about the King's College incident that they
Mm-hmm.
did talk about in the documentary. I had confirmation of the King's documentary, the King's College part of it, through people I knew. Um, and then hearing what happened at Howard with Biggie in the middle of a concert where in the actual song, and I can't remember what song it was, where he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute." Like literally, he's at the concert saying this, and they still recorded it. Like he's trying to stop a fight. Um, and then just the things of the artists that they would say about him, like Mary, um, the way
Everyone. I don't recall anyone ever saying that I had
anything
a
nice.
positive experience.
Even Biggie was very, very much so. That was his friend. Oh, sorry. That was his friend, but I don't think it. But I don't think it was. I don't think he was reciprocated the same friendship that he gave because of the fact that he still saw him as his employee and
Okay.
not.
So earlier, and I want to say it was the first episode when he had started working with Andre Harrell.
Yep,
Hope I don't say his name wrong.
yep.
And
You said it right.
Harrell was telling him that basically you are the most important, like I'm the most important, the artist doesn't matter.
Yep, that's what Andre believed.
And that's fine because he also paid his artists.
No, he didn't.
He
He
didn't?
didn't either. He didn't either. He it literally said uh, that he Puff took a page out of Andre Harrell's book where he would give the advance, and that's all they got
Oh,
after that.
and that's it.
Because like Father of the Sea
Hmm.
was in that uh Jodeci.
I thought
Those
Jodeci was
boys
with
didn't
Bad
get
Boys.
anybody. Huh?
I thought Jodeci was Bad Boys.
No, they came up through. Puff was
Oh,
still at Uptown.
okay.
So
I didn't know.
Uptown was Heavy D,
Okay.
I'll Be Sure, which I'll Be Sure did, and Heavy D didn't get money until Heavy D left and went to Arista on his own
Wow.
under Clive Davis.
Wow.
And then Jekyll and Hyde was part of Uptown because Andre Harrell was Jekyll and Hyde. Um, which is a rap group, and then a few other people underneath them.
Hmm.
And then Puff was the background. He became in charge of A&R, where he would
Hmm.
promote parties and things like
Yes.
that.
Okay.
From there, uh, Jodeci came. When Jodeci came, Andre said, "You're in charge of them. Let me see what you can
That's
do
what
with
it
them."
was. That's why I got confused. Okay.
And he was able to get Jodeci as background singers for Father MC. And that's how Mary started. She was the background singer for Father MC.
But this is going to be
And
the Olivia episode because you have knowledge that I don't have. So please share. I'm really enjoying it.
so so then once uh he actually was fired, those artists stayed. He ended up, him and his uh friend from childhood started Bad Boys and then brought the other groups in.
And they brought him in. Okay. Well, then nothing. Because I was about to ask about the money thing, but that was how
So
he
he
was.
got to say he actually followed Andre when it came to money. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just him. There were other producers. I mean,
We're not
look
talking
at
about them.
Pebbles
We ain't talking
and
about
the
them.
way
I know
she
what Babyface did. I know. See, them I know because that was more my genre. But
hmm
we ain't talking about them right now because they ain't the ones that's on trial today.
hmm
So their dirt can stay over there till it comes out when it comes out. Um, I want to be open. I really appreciate you for carrying this because I went into watching it with a preconceived notion.
Okay.
So it was very hard for me to sit. Like I'm be honest with you, for the first two, I was on my phone. It couldn't catch my attention. I was just like, I'm not interested. I don't care. Because I remember, I was there during that time. I remember the things happening. Um, and I thought it was all shysty and shady. And so I was just like, I don't like this. I shouldn't even know about this. I'm not even into this created West Coast, East Coast beef that wasn't even real. But I didn't really want to go back. Yeah. So we'll go back to the allegations, the first allegations um, of the sexual assaults. And you said that you believe, and I think that you're 150% correct, that they let him off of that because he was a fan. And I also think it was because, like, the one uh, juror, the male juror, when he was speaking of Cassie, was like, well, they were in love and you can't have it both ways. And, you know, exactly what he said. She was this hand and he was this hand, and she was so in love with him and he was so in love with her. And if it wasn't something that she liked, she should have just left because you can't make the clapping sound without both hands. And he also had made the statement about she just really liked the luxury. And these are the times that jury trials irritate me because we have preconceived notions. I've never been a juror and I would never want to be because I don't pretty much care what you say if I make up in my mind. That's it. You're not going to change my mind. And I think that's kind of like what happened, at least with the ones that were brave enough to put their face, on the documentary. Um, his statement, though, that she liked the money, and if she didn't like it, she wouldn't have stayed. No one talked about the fact she was 19 years old and she had nothing else. And everybody in her life was pushed away through threat of violence. So where you gonna go? Um, do I believe she saw some stuff and she should have left earlier? I do, but I also I've never been there, you know?
Well, grooming is definitely a thing that
Mm.
happened to her. Um, when she first came on the scene, she was 16, 17 though. It
Yeah,
wasn't
but
even
she wasn't
19.
with him.
So, but I'm just saying, on the scene when she
Yeah, so
came,
she
she didn't have her she didn't have the adult mindset of protection, and the
Yeah.
people that maybe were around her didn't have maybe the business sense. They didn't probably know what the actual deal was. So people shove papers in and out all the time. They change pieces here, pieces there. I mean, as someone who does contracts, you have to read over contracts all the time to make sure they're right. Well, there could have been things in the contract where her people who had her before she got signed over to um, P. Diddy could have stopped or could have at least changed where she would have been a little bit safer. One of the things that I know that they talked about was that she signed for 10 records.
Yeah, I saw
10.
that.
So
That's a lot.
you can't leave until you provide 10 records.
Yeah.
And not one of those records ever came out.
No.
So now you're still beholden to a person for money because you have to produce these records. But how do you produce records when you've been beaten, you've been drugged, allegedly? But on the thing, you could tell because everybody who's seen this girl anywhere in the camp has seen that she's been drugged or whatever, groomed.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you have nowhere to go. So saying that she was in love with this man, she could have been, but also too, she could have had Stockholm syndrome because she was stuck there. And Stockholm syndrome, a lot of people believe that that's love, and it's not.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that, like I said, he, as that man who showed himself on there, he was also in a way trying to protect Shawn by saying it was love. And that's why they didn't charge him, like I said,
I think he
um,
was trying to protect
with
more
those
his
things.
mindset. The way
He
that man
was.
here, he would be okay with that.
But
And
if,
that's
say it was
probably
his
why he
daughter,
was chosen
yep.
for the jury.
But you have to go back to that first 10 minutes of the show when he's on the phone with his lawyer, John. And he was like, you need to find people who understand what's going on. I don't care if you get him from a different country.
Yeah.
He knew that if he played, and he even said, if there's 7 million people on TikTok, you need to go to the ones who are on Instagram or
Mhm.
whatever. You have to find people who are going to agree with me so I don't go in with as
Yeah,
much preconceived notion.
as sad as this seems, I'm not mad at him for that. I mean, we got to watch our own behind, but um, my irritation is not with him in particular, because it's the whole thing. Um, it's so much of it going on right now. He's the fall guy. Do I think he needed to fall? Yes, he needed to be knocked down um, several hundred pegs, but it goes on so much, um, and it's really sad. It's really sad. But I had a specific question when we started talking, and it went boop. Um, but going back with the whole documentary thing, I will say I appreciated the fact that it seemed to have been done from an open lens.
Oh, 100%.
It
It
wasn't
had pros
skewed.
and cons.
Yes, it wasn't skewed.
I
Uh,
love that too.
I do appreciate that. It actually gave a history of who this person was. It gave a history of how he was raised, as far as you can figure out. I like that. Still no excuse, but I know a lot of people will take that and say, well, he went through this as a child. And oh God, I always end up being a man woman person, but that's what it comes down to. But a woman in the same respect, well, she should have known better. How would you allow this? We can't use the past to justify the present. I don't know. I'm so torn. I think that's what I'm torn. I'm
So for
torn.
me, I will say this. I realized that certain people just want power and fame. And this is not just him. It is a lot of people in this world. If we look at what's going on today in the climate, people want to be, like I said, on the winning team.
Mm,
And if they can be on the winning team to get fame, power, money, they're
mm,
going to do it. Some people, though, realize that they have a conscience and they will change their ways. Some people don't. I believe that for him, the and I'm going to go back to his childhood, the myth that his mother put on his father. His father was a
mm,
gangster, supposedly,
mm,
drug dealer, all this stuff. His mom continued that process under her
mm,
husband's name.
mm.
He, though, wasn't raised that way.
No.
He was raised as the good Catholic kid or private school kid. Da, 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 da. They even said it in the documentary. He was this nerdy kid. He had a Gumby. Like he was a paper gangster because he had money, he could
Gangster.
bully people, and he was a paper gangster.
Gangster. Okay.
I believe that because for him, he was never that tough guy. He never had his dad's persona towards people where people saw him and were like, "Ooh, let's straighten up, let's do this, let's do that," because he's around. He used the money and the fame that he learned from Andre to become
Mm,
the person that he is now. I truly believe also there was a part where he actually learned how to finesse people. He did it with Andre. He finessed Andre to move into his house
yeah.
so that he could be up under him.
Yeah.
Um,
He made
he
himself indispensable.
finessed, hmm?
He made himself indispensable until he
And
soaked up
Andre even
all the
said that.
knowledge. And then when Andre woke up and was like, mm-mm, and fired him, he couldn't go back really against him, but he could try to steal as much as he could and move on and move higher. Am I okay?
No, no, I
No.
think the reason why he didn't go against him is because they both had things on each other.
Oh, and he
That,
couldn't. And he
that
couldn't.
if they did, things
Okay.
would leak out way
Okay.
earlier than what they leaked out now. The
Okay.
not paying of the artist,
Yeah.
the I mean, one of the things that P. Diddy did, which they said in the documentary, is he made sure he was on every single album, every
And it was
single
quite
song,
annoying.
so he could pay himself.
Yeah. So speaking about running the businesses, um, I don't know pretty much anything about death row. So other than what was told to me, I know artists, I know some of the music, but I don't know the backgrounds, backrooms. So do you think that Suge was, compared to him, a better label owner? Like, did he pay his artists?
So he, so let me do a quick thing for Suge. Suge was Albie Shore's bodyguard.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So Suge was also allegedly had ties to gangs. So his mindset was about loyalty, making money. Everybody eats, everyone gets paid. So fast forward to him getting with Dre. He read Dre's contract when he was with NWE, NWA. And he was like, dude, you're not getting no money. You're not getting nothing. That's why the DLC left first.
What's the DLC?
The DLC, um, that's his nickname. I don't know what his real name is.
Okay. Okay.
Who was part of NWA, and he left first.
All right.
And then after that, Dre left when they realized what was going on with the money. Cube always knew
Mm.
because he was like, "Why are we eating hamburgers? You out here eating steak?" Like he already knew, like even in their documentary, I'm not getting paid what I'm worth, let me leave. So for Suge, he always paid his artists. He did everything. That's why he was able to grab Tupac because when Tupac went to jail, and they even said it in the documentary, and there's a Tupac documentary, is that he said, I will pay all of your fees. I will get you whatever you need, and I will pay you everything that you are owed once you drop your two albums.
Okay.
And like, so he was a person, there's never been that I know of anybody who's ever complained about not getting paid, ever.
So with that knowledge, so that means that his label was doing well and his artists would then be loyal
Yes, because they were getting paid. Yes.
because they're getting paid. So do you think that Shawn was jealous of his success and the loyalty from the artists?
100% because Craig Mack was about to leave.
Mm,
Craig Mack was the flavor in your ear.
yeah,
And he was not getting paid. His wife was on the show and even said, we had nothing.
yeah.
Craig was trying to figure out where his money was. They would show him paperwork where, and they did the same thing with Danny Kane, Day 26, all those kids who went to making the band
Yeah.
would say, oh, you have fee for your dancers, for your trainer, for your nutritionist, your clothing, your all of this. Take all their money and left them with pennies to divide amongst each other. And Craig, when he found out that Death Row was going to do Death Row East,
Hmm.
he was like, "Oh, let me come out there." And that was one of the things that they said was that he went out there to do a show. That was the same night that Tupac got shot. His wife was like, "Yo, bring your tail back," and he left and never signed.
So you mentioned Tupac. Now Tupac, I know that that's one I know. Um, he had, in my opinion, just a persona. No matter what he did,
He went to Juilliard school, performing arts school. He was a
definitely, like
performer.
he was a talent.
Yes,
Um, and anything that he touched
everything.
was amazing.
Yes.
Um, he was book smart. I'm going to guess street smart. I don't
Oh,
know if that, okay.
100%.
So
His
book
mama
smart,
shot him.
he was street smart.
Mhm.
Um, he was young, he was ambitious, he was handsome, which is all things that Shawn never was. Well, he was ambitious. I'm not going to take that from him. He was definitely ambitious, but he definitely was nothing to look at. Still is nothing to look at. And I don't think he has the charis.
Charismatic.
He was, yeah, Pac was charismatic. Um, so basically, do you believe, and this is all opinions, that because they're about the same age, right?
Mhm.
So looking at Pac, do you think he was like, that's what I want to be, and I'm not, so I'm gonna
100%.
take him down?
100%. But I don't think that it was noticeable to anybody because Pac was never friends with Shawn. His
Right.
friend was Biggie.
That
Him
I
and
even knew.
Biggie
Yes.
were
We're
close,
tight. Mm-hmm.
where Biggie slept on his floor, and I mean, Pac slept on his floor. Like they were close.
Mm-hmm.
They had the same care. As mm, one thing that Biggie always said, "Black and ugly as ever," from his song, he was charismatic, just
He was
like
very
Pac.
charismatic, very charismatic.
Him and
He had
Pac,
a something.
him and Pac had the same type of mentality. The same, they both wanted to be entertainers. They
Okay.
both were street smart. They were both coming from mothers who were strong. Pac with his mom being part of the Black Panthers, and Biggie with his mom being a teacher, educated. Like they both, no matter that Pac's mom had some her own demons that she had to fight because
Yeah.
of being part of the Black Panther and being arrested and having all of that stuff. They were the same person. That's why they gravitated. They made music together. The songs that they made together, like they were so much the same sides of a coin that Shawn did not like it. Shawn didn't like the fact that when Biggie got around Pac, there was no Shawn. It was all, this is my boy. Even when he had Junior
Deal with
Mafia
his
with Little
friend having
C's and
another
all
friend.
them, he hated that.
So he didn't
Junior
like
Mafia, well,
he didn't like his friend having another friend. But was he actually friends?
they weren't friends.
They weren't friends. Okay.
I don't believe they were friends. I believe he didn't like his his employee having other friends who could possibly sway him to leave.
Oh,
Because Biggie had two albums. Life After Death was his last album that he was the giving Diddy, and he was out of his contract. He was gone. He died
mm.
literally right before they came out.
I know they said that he had just renegotiated the contract, and the
Well, he
contract
was in
was
negotiations.
no in the thing because I just watched it today.
Uh-huh.
The guy with the dress, the one that used to be his friend that he ended up
Yeah.
firing, said that they had did the renegotiation, and it
Mhm.
was favorable to Biggie,
Yes.
and it was already done and signed. And then
Yeah.
he was asked to go into the middle, remove some of this documentation in the middle,
Yes.
and stick some other and slide some other stuff in there. And he said no, and then he said 90 days later he was fired.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So okay. Mm. Girls too much. It just reminds me of people in life. You meet the people, and the thing is, everything that he has acquired, has amassed, and all of that, he still could have done. I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't have to do a little shady dealing. Let's be for real. In business, it's going to be some shadiness, but the level of debauchery, the level of oh, I don't know the word, grandstanding. I don't know, trying to control everything. I think you,
Narcissism.
huh?
Narcissism.
The level of that just messed him up. He thought he was bigger than the program.
That's because he liked. So when you go back to the part one where they talked about the things that his mom raised him on, which were the
Mm,
black exploitation movies,
mm,
the pimps and gangsters, and
mm,
she had him in furs and all of this stuff trying to build him into this person that reminded her of her husband
mm.
who passed away. I feel that too, there was a part of his mother grooming him also
Oh, I
to be this
agree.
to
I
be this
agree.
person.
Mm-hmm.
And when she saw that she could make money or she could be taken care of through this, she was complicit in it.
Wow. I mean, I agree with you, but as a
I
mom,
mean, she as a mother knew that he was beating on these women. She
yeah,
as a mother knew that she wasn't true. He was out here with other people
yeah.
when Kim was home. The other Justin's mom was home. I cannot remember her name, but like even
Misha, is it Misha?
yes, she was dating the guy from EPMD.
Yeah, I
Like
was shocked when I saw that. I didn't know.
and this man, just like he did to Albie Shore, it was all about the like he knew he didn't have that charismatic personality, so I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
what you have. He was like one
Okay.
of those, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. It came up. Okay. because he doesn't have it and you can't fake it.
Mm-mm,
You can't fake that energy. That
mm-mm.
energy is that energy. We know
Yep,
energy doesn't die, it just
yep,
transfers, it shifts.
yep.
So you try to steal it through stealing the women because we know what women are.
Divine feminine energy.
So you were stealing the women to get at the men and to be like, I'm better than you because I got what you had, but not realizing you still don't have their charisma. You still don't have their talent. Like these women were with them. I don't care if you call them hood
For
rat
other
women. I
reasons
don't care
too.
if you call them money loving women. It was the charisma. It was the talent. It was the push. You have the push, but it was the whole package. And you don't have that. You'll never have that.
No.
And I look at people the term is out there too much, but it's the truth. You're trying to destiny swap and not understanding the base of the destiny you're trying to swap. So you're going to get what you think you want, and it's going to be shiny and glittery and fun, but you will pay the debt for that because you didn't truly get it. You
And
just
that's
got
why
the
he kept
perimeter.
pulling it. That's
Hmm?
why he kept pulling it from
From
every
different people.
person he met
Okay.
because he wasn't getting it. That's why he kept pulling. He started with Al. He pulled that because Al, and he even said it in the thing. Heavy was the mayor of Uptown. Aldo was the R&B.
Yeah.
Like he was the shiny shiny. Like everybody loved that light skinned man and his
With his
unibrow.
unibrow, yeah.
I mean, but he was gorgeous. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
um,
talented.
and he had that charisma.
Yeah.
Then from there, you went to Eric Sermon's woman.
What's that?
Ended up, and Eric Sermon even said it in his thing. He was like, "We were friends. Like I was friends with this dude. I brought him places. I went to his things for him to do this, and he even told her, yeah, if you're gonna get with him, have a lot of babies so you can always get that money." And
Al
he's
said
he,
that.
huh?
Al
Oh,
said
Al
that.
said that.
Al
Okay.
said that. And he was like, I was just joking.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
don't joke.
Yeah. But like, but even then, Eric Sermon said that him and the girl were still friends. And he walked up on them in the car talking and dragged her out the car. He knocked on the window. Remember, he said that he knocked on
No.
the window because she was sitting in his driver's seat. He was in the passenger seat.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, he wanted it. He did the same thing then with Suge Knight's, one of Suge Knight's girls in Atlanta,
Yes, the one
one of
here.
his side pieces, because he was married to Michelle A at the time, and went to Atlanta and tried to get one of his side pieces. Suge was like, "Go right ahead." Like
Yeah. Yeah.
she's
My
still my
thing,
side piece.
my thing is this. And I look at people who do these things and I just find it hilarious because it's like it's so noticeable. And I'm like, but you're still not gonna get what you want. Like in the beginning, it appears that you've gotten everything you wanted. In the beginning, it appears that you walked all over this person. I mean, his story, of course, is just the extreme because people were harmed. Like,
Yeah,
we have people killed, we have families torn apart, we have careers that were ended, you know. So that is the far extreme. But smaller, you're looking at it and you're like, do you ever realize that a lot of times people just get to the point and they just say, go for it. I'm not going to fight you anymore. You can have
well, a
what you
lot of people
think.
don't.
I think more people do than don't. Just say, you can have what you think you want, take it. And I may have less fiscally, but I don't have to deal with that shit no more.
I
I
mean, maybe now they do, but back then, I mean, you have to look at the time frame. A lot of people at that time frame who were going through these things wanted to make it. They wanted to get their
no,
family
no,
out
no.
of,
That's why I said I'm not talking about like that
oh,
example, because
oh, in general,
that's a
in
big
the smaller
example. And
landscape,
those
I
people,
think
yeah.
some people, though, I think even during that time, I mean, you could look at it, a lot of people are scared to let let the idea of wedding go. Some people will put themselves through that
I've
because they're
noticed.
scared that
I've
they're not
noticed.
going to. I'm talking about the people who he's trying that that people are trying to swap with or take their stuff with.
I agree. I noticed. I've noticed. It just um it's weird to me. Like it was person after person after person saying that one lady, Capricorn, the assistant, she even said it. She said, and when she said it initially, I had turned to Morgan because Morgan watched it with me. I was like, so he surrounded himself with broken people. So she
He had to.
said, when I was interviewed, this is what happened. The day went on and got more interesting. He took me here with the bodyguard, and they basically threatened my life when you found out I was associated with Suge Knight. But I stayed
Yep.
because my mother was a cocaine addict, and I was used to seeing this
Chaos.
up and down chaos. Perfect word. I was used to seeing the chaos, but so his chaos I understood. And
Yep.
that is just like that blew my mind. Cause me, I'm like, you took me up in Central Park in middle of the night and told me I'm gonna kill you and this is how I'm gonna kill you. I'd been like, yes, yep, uh-huh, till I get the hell up out of here. And you wouldn't have seen me no more. I've been out of New
But you
York.
were raised different.
Again, he surrounded
Yep.
himself with people, with broken people,
Yep.
with people who would put up with this stuff, with people you could dangle the carrot in front of. And they would say, okay, I'll keep going. Okay, I'll keep going. Girl. Anywho, I wrote down two things and I want your opinion.
Okay.
So in the second, I think it's the second one. It might have been the third. Either the third or the second one. And he was doing an interview, he being that man. And he said, and I quote, because I wrote it down word for word, I represent the first wave of Black economic power.
Hmm.
Did no one think to correct him and say, whoop, you represent a wave of Black. You were nowhere near the first before your father nutted. It was other people in this country that were Black who had wealth. And I was like, nobody corrected that. Nobody.
Yolanda, you're going from history and you're going from knowledge. What he was talking about for him, that he's talking about for supposedly people who look like him, coming from,
Okay.
hold on, coming from the ghetto, even though he
Yes.
wasn't from the
We
ghetto.
had we had
His
ex-slaves that made money and became
baby,
economic.
I understand what you're saying. You're going logically, Jolanda. I need you to turn off the logic mind, please,
Okay,
and
break
listen.
it down. Break it down.
He was the first wave of kids who were technically, he's the end of Gen X, or he's part of Gen X.
He's
Gen
Gen
X
X.
kids who were just left to their own devices. And he is pulling up a whole generation of Black people with him because for him, Andre Harrell, um, the one
What's a Jiggy?
Simmons, Russell
The
Simmons,
Simmons
and all of
boy.
them, they were they were pulling up the Black. But see, for Puff, he didn't see them as successful as him. He had Sean Sean John. He
Yeah,
had
she's fine.
Ciroc. He had Bad Boys. He had the TV shows. He had all of this where they didn't have all of these things. He was touching all parts of media. And for him, to his brain, he was the first wave. Because how many of them out of that group who were in the industry, besides Russell didn't do it until after him, who had clothes, who
Russell
had
did
TV,
wasn't Fat Farm. Fat Farm was before Sean
but
John.
all of it. I'm talking
Okay,
all that he had at one time.
because I
I
know
didn't,
Russell Simmons.
I, I know Russell did, but he was also in the wave because he had Kimura. Kimura was part of Sean John. Like he,
Okay,
So I just,
Okay, I understand. I hear you, but that's bullshit. You cannot make a statement that you are the first wave of
why
something
can't I make a statement?
because it's a lie.
It's a lie to you. It's not a lie to
It's
me.
a lie.
Anybody can make a statement. I teach my kids this all the time. There's statements and questions. Do you have a statement or do you have a question? My kids will always tell me if they have something to tell me, it's a statement. I don't care if they tell me that the sky is green and the grass is purple. It is a statement. He can make any statement he wants.
Okay.
You're thinking, well, that's a lie. Who ca- he doesn't care. It's a lie. People make statements all the time.
And
People
there we
say,
go. Thank you. Thank you. I agree that anyone can make a statement. I agree that your statement doesn't have to be true. My caveat is you've placed yourself in a position of power. You've placed yourself in a position to be an inspiration out of your mouth for the
"Mhm,
generation. I'm pulling the black people that you using and screwing and beating. You put yourself in that position.
mhm."
So in that position, you don't need to be sitting up here lying.
To
You
him, it
also
wasn't a
made the
lie, though.
statement, wait, he also made the statement talking about some in the studio when he was messing up and sounding bad and all coked out. You're experiencing Jesus walking on water.
He
I
believed it.
ain't even Christian like that no more. But
He
come
believed it.
on now.
I mean, Jolanda, th- he believed it. I mean, why are you? A
And
lot of people
nobody,
believe what they say
nobody
out their mouth.
said you are so full of bullshit. And I might not necessarily just verbally say it because my life could have been on the line, but my legs gonna say it when I'm walking a freak away from you. Why? I'm so fame hungry. I'm so, I need to be seen that I'm going to put up the
I mean,
guy.
look at the Wizard of Oz.
Okay. Yeah. I hate that. That's a whole nother thing. The guy, let me focus on one tragedy. One. The little fat guy with the pony, the hair doing like that. I don't know his name. The music guy. He said, I finally realized, and I was trying to figure out why it took him so long to realize he was being drugged and everything was being recorded in the house. How else you think the man knew everything that's going on? There's cameras everywhere. Duh. It like, where's the common sense? Well, I finally realized this. I said something to the KK girl, little, I don't know if she white, light skin, whatever, his personal assistant, which I'm like, why would you talk to her? She works for him directly, even closer than you freaking idiot. But I knew it was wrong. I knew I was drugged. I knew people were having issues, but I just needed my music to get out there. So, okay, you know what? I was kind of like okay with that because you know what? Sometimes you put yourself in situations and you kind of, if I leave now, all this work is for naught. I will never have anything. I'm gonna let them have it. You know, we all have different thought processes. So the music comes out and you still don't get paid.
Mhm. He left after that.
Oh no, he left, but he didn't say nothing until someone else said something. Then all of a sudden, well, I got to speak up. That's
Mm,
what he said
I don't.
because he was sitting at the thing.
He might have said that. That doesn't mean he didn't speak up. I mean, he
Okay, I'm
told
only going
KK.
by what he
I,
said.
and I agree with you.
Okay.
A lot of people. I'm gonna say, let's go to the something you know for sure, which is making the band. The
I
one
don't know
where
much. I only know that one
you do
episode.
you watch that.
I did. Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna say
I ain't gonna say the
this.
name since you're gonna tell me what I did. But go on here.
A lot of people sacrificed a lot to be part of these groups.
Yes, I'll accept that.
Um, some of these kids left families, left their own children, left careers. Like Aubrey was going to law school.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these people left and like you said, like the guy said, I wanted to be heard. I wanted my music out there. I will
Yeah.
do anything to have that done, even signing a deal with the devil. And that's what I see of him. I'm signing a deal with the devil. I mean, you have these people who feel like this is their last shot, who feel like if this doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. And because they feel that way, they're going to take the little crumbs that are dangled in front of them
Yeah.
until they realize, oh my God, it's never going to happen the way they told me it was.
Yeah.
Black Rob, Craig Mack, Mason Betha, who Mace, when he jumped ship, he was singing like a canary before and still singing like a canary, and nobody believed him.
Mhm.
Uh, Mary, she said the same thing when she
She
jumped
should.
ship.
She did. I remember that too. Her and
Faith,
Maze.
and they
Hmm.
tried to blame it because Biggie died. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't just because Biggie died, because she didn't get her royalties from her husband's death because they were still married. She
Yeah.
didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying with your mindset about why wouldn't he have left. He
No.
even said he had two kids at home,
No. 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 It
the
wasn't a
wife.
why. I don't want to sound like I'm flip-flopping because I'm not. I just don't know how to say it. I see both sides. I'm not, because I may sound like I'm sitting in judgment of those who were abused, and I'm not, because this isn't my dream. I don't have a dream to be an artist. I don't have a dream to be that type of creative. So I don't understand what they went through. Um, but if I come into a situation, I'm coming into a situation late, not in the beginning. I'm coming in later on when I've been in the industry. I've had some other mild successes. Because to get to him at that point, at a certain point, you've had to know somebody who knew somebody or done a little something to get in the door. And I've heard the stories and I've seen some things, but I'm so I really want to still, get my dream. And then when I go in, it's like, damn, what I heard was true. The whispers are true, but I already started working. So let me just kind of power through to get my stuff out. At what point do you say, I'm gonna have to try another? There are other avenues. He's not the only avenue. So at what point do you say, I'm gonna have to let this go? Because in the end, you didn't get paid anyway.
You have to also understand he was a paper gangster. He could have called anybody to get you blocked and blackballed, which he did to a lot of
And I
artists.
guess I guess that's too
So,
why they have like now with all the streamers and things where people are just dropping their own music and making their
yep.
money the other way, which I really understand.
Mhm.
Ugh, just it's
So,
tight,
I mean, a
very
lot of
tight.
that, a lot of them stayed because nobody else is going to work with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he said that to, uh, and I hate to go back to making the band. He did 7 seasons of making the band.
It was that many?
Yes. Day 26 was the last one he did.
Okay.
Those boys, he told them, you are not going to be able to go anywhere and do anything without me.
Mm-hmm.
He said the same thing to Aubrey when he fired her in the middle of the show,
Mm-hmm.
calling her problematic, where in the documentary you found out she was drugged and raped by
Mm-hmm.
him and another man.
Mm-hmm. At least once.
She always said that there was something about him that was menacing. He was texting me sexual things. He was doing this, doing that. I don't know if it happened to all the girls, but it was happening to me. And every time I tried to voice and say something, or they would be like, "Well, why are you acting like that?" Da, 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 da. She was scared.
Mm-hmm.
Now she got to prove to tell her mom, I left law school because you told me to leave. I left law school and now I have nothing. So now I turn into this personality that he made out of me on TV, which is I'm a villain. I'm this girl who's hard to work with. I can't do
Mhm.
anything because I'm the bad girl now. What do I do? I think a lot. And I'm going to go back to just that guy, all the guys. I think anybody who's in the industry, I mean, hell, like you said, let's go back to the smaller. I know people and I've heard people, even in education, who said, I'm going to talk to the other principals and you'll never have a job again in education.
Mhm.
I've heard that. I know somebody that was told to,
Mhm.
if you leave, you'll never work in education again. Not in this school district.
And I'm gonna say this. We have so many subscribers, so I really don't care about saying it. I'm being
Don't say it like
facetious.
that.
I'm being facetious, I'm just being silly. But sometimes people need to be shown that you're not as big as you think you are. And that's the end of it. I've had threats made, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So with him, he was allowed to get to a certain point because of being in the music industry. Because, as they said in the documentary, he was a gateway person because he put himself in that position. And for that, I respect him. I can't not respect the hustle. Like he worked hard to get into that position. Um, but it's like a monopoly in any other business. You cannot allow one or two entities to have that monopoly, to have that power overall. Like even the non-POC people running music. Finally, it's starting to unravel. Finally, but they had too much power. You have what, 20 people running a whole industry, and they can do no wrong. That's so problematic. It's so problematic. I don't know. Like you said, different mindset. I just think everybody don't need to be here and some people need to disappear.
I I I I agree with you and I understand your mindset only because I've known you, but I always have to look at what other people are thinking. Um,
I don't think you.
because a lot of people don't have one, you said you were threatened, but you also too had the confidence and wherewithal in yourself to step up for yourself.
No, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. It's some things with people that I've gone through I don't discuss with anyone. We all have that, it's part of the human condition. And I have had people threaten me with certain things, not many, but some serious threats. I didn't discuss it with anyone. They don't threaten me anymore. They moved on with their lives. It someone has to be willing, and with him, it has come out. People were willing to step up and say, hey, this is what's going on. It just took a long time for that snowball to build because you're going up against a big machine, and they would rather keep making money than deal with the fact that you were stolen from, lied to, abused. You know, the money was more important.
I don't think just well,
I don't.
I'm gonna
You don't think the money was more important than the human toll?
I don't think it was just the money though.
What do you think?
I mean, I believe that it was carrying family on your back, listening to other
No, no, no,
people.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about the people who were hurt. I'm talking
What are
about
you
the
talking
people
about?
that covered up. That's when I
Oh,
say
well, people who
they,
covered up.
the people who
So
covered up the industry, the people who covered up, the ones that said, "But I made money, so just give them $50,000 or whatever and go away." That's what I'm talking about, not the ones who went through it. I can't fault the
I think
victim.
I think all people have something on them. I
I
think the
don't know what
reason
you
why
mean.
they said, I think the reason why some people said shh and kept working, like for example, his assistant, the KK girl who's still there, who still works for him. I think for her, well, it didn't happen to me. It didn't.
That's what I
No, but I'm
mean.
just saying it didn't happen to me. So if people are saying these things, or even if it did happen to me,
I'm still getting paid.
like you said, I'm not going to say anything because I have this door, not just getting paid, but I have this door to say I'm his assistant, so I can walk through.
It's still
I
payment.
can, okay, I
It's
can
still a
walk
form
through.
of payment. It might not be money payment, but I'm here. I can go everywhere. I'm KK or whoever. Like I'm still getting paid. And that is
So,
worth more to me than your whatever you went through.
so my only last thing about this is when it comes, like he has children,
Mm.
and two of his children, the two oldest, not the one who I'll be short and Kim had, but the two other oldest,
Misha, and so what is that? Justin? Is that
Justin
Justin?
and King,
And who? And King. Okay.
King,
Hmm.
were part of this documentary.
Yeah.
And they were with their dad and supporting their dad and saying, this is a true da 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 da. I remember when King was in college and Puff came to the school and had a big party at his school,
Okay.
and things were happening, and they tried to throw King out because of some allegations that
Out of the
happened.
school? Okay.
Yeah, this happened. Yeah, because he's in his probably going into his 30s soon. Um, I remember that happening. And everyone was trying to figure out why would Puff go to a school to party with his son?
It is weird.
Why not throw a party for his son or throw like a concert for the kids? Why would he go and actually party
RV.
with his
Mm.
son? So all of that to say is, as a parent, how could you do these things and not think about your children and the backlash, or even these things happening to your own children? He's got one, two, three, four girls now. He's got the twins. He
Mm.
had one, got another woman pregnant at the same time. The twins were born with Kim. So
Oh.
there's three girls who are all the same age. And then he's got a baby who's probably like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old now.
Mm.
Why would you, as a parent, do the things that you did? And you have been a parent for a long time.
Maybe he saw the children as means to ends. I don't know. I don't understand the mindset, so I can only speculate. And it was alluded in the documentary that he was mistreated as a child. So maybe that's what he knows. He might have been, because they kind of alluded to his mom's lifestyle and him being there. Another little guy was like, yeah, we were in the car when she would go make runs and things, and I would spend the night and we would watch different types of movies. That's when they were talking about the black exploitations and all of that, and the different type of music, which he wasn't. exposed to at home. So maybe he's just doing what he knows. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I always when stuff like this happens and people have children, I always go back to that. I'm just like, you're a parent. Like, would you
That's
want the
because you
same
fought for
thing?
your babies. So you like, I ain't doing nothing. Nothing.
Would you want the same thing to
Um,
happen to your daughter? Would you want a
yeah.
man dragging your daughter down the hallway? Would you want a man drugging or raping your daughter? Would you want that to happen? Would you want a man drugging and raping your sons like you did to the other people? Like, would you want that? And if you can say yes, hey, you got it.
I
But
know.
if you would say no, then why would you do it to
Why
someone
would you
else?
do it to someone else's child, especially little ones? And you going to pick them young. Um, I don't know, baby.
So, well, I am going to, as my friend says, turn it to a little bit of lighter note. Um, I'm going to ask some questions because it is the end of the year. It's December, and people are all over TikTok talking about 2026. This is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Okay.
yo, let's finish out the year before we do all that stuff. So I uh just have a few things I want to ask you. Um, because I was asked this. What, looking at this year,
Mm.
what's one thing you learned? What's one thing you learned from January 1st to just today? What is one thing that you've learned? I'm going to start to give you time to think.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you.
So, what I said is patience is not a virtue.
Okay. Can you explain?
And when I say that is because people constantly say, just wait, just wait, just wait. And they do that one to put you off, two because um they're not ready for you to have the success that you're deserving.
Mm.
Um, three because as we see, people can pull the wool over your eyes.
Mm.
So patience to me is not a virtue.
Okay.
I feel like you're being you're dumb and you're being played.
My baby said you're dumb. Okay.
I do. I also believe that nice is the worst swear word you could ever say because
Mm.
nice means you're stupid.
Mm.
So those are the two things that I truly learned this year that patience for me, I'm not doing it. Now, let me say this. If I'm driving and there's something going on, I will use restraint, is what I will say. But when it comes to making things happen, things going on, I'm not gonna, people say, well, be patient, it will happen. Be patient, this will happen. Um, Definitely uh hear that a lot,
Mm.
especially, oh, well, it'll come, this will happen, just wait, it'll show up. If I don't make it happen, it's not showing up. If I don't go and put my hand on it, it's not going to show up. It's not going to happen. So for me, patience is not a virtue. It's something to hold you back.
Okay.
So what have you learned?
I like that. In the past year, I have learned to not be afraid to speak my piece. I do not let things go. I used to be a letter goer. I just let it go. I don't let it go anymore. When something comes up, I speak my piece in the moment. And once I'm done with that moment, I'm done with that moment. And I found that I feel lighter, I'm happier overall. I have less stomach issues because I address it in the moment and I deal with the consequences of my decision then, good, bad, or indifferent. And that has brought me a level of peace that I've not had before. So that's what I think that's my biggest thing. Your patience thing, I love. And at first, I was going to say, don't just wait until the next day to start. Just go ahead and start today. But you kind of said that with the patience. So I had to come up with something else. And I'm like, oh, you speak your piece now. So that's that. That's a good question. You got another?
I do. Another one is what is what is the thing that makes you just the happiest? Bliss, not your children.
My children don't bring
What
me
is the
bliss.
thing that makes you the happiest and gives you that bliss? And the reason I said not your children, because that's my go-to, and
Oh,
we all know that.
what is it?
So I will go first. Uh, what makes me truly the happiest and like is is the love I have now for myself, which was a long coming. So what truly makes me happy is the love I have for my own self. Why are you looking at me like that for?
Oh, that's a great answer. Um, when I think of the last just blissful day I had, a day where I was just happy and nothing really amazing happened that day. To wake up and have a day with no drama. You know, I do not like conflict. So to have a day where I can just be conflict free, and that is few and far between because generally, I don't know what it is about when you're in a really good place. People seem to want to try to dump on you or do something or say something to bring you out of that place. Like I know sometimes people will try to pick fights with me when I'm just really happy. They want to like drop something. And the last time that happened, I was about to let it affect me. And I literally stopped and was just like, I don't have to. And literally I said, I don't have to. And I walked away and I was just happy for the rest of the day. I don't have to engage with you. You don't have to take me there. You don't get that power. So that's what brings me bliss. Just a non-conflict day. Oh, that's it. Mhm.
So I love that. So looking at that, what is one thing that out of this year
Mm.
that you would change?
Leaving,
So,
I got it
uh,
because it's something it's taken me till now to stop. And
mhm,
every once in a while, I'll try to take my ego tries to protect me by taking me back to that place, and
mhm.
it's taken me a while to break it. Being overly harsh on myself and beating myself up because sometimes I perceive myself as a failure, and I'm not. I'm far from it because I'm not where I wanted, where I thought I was wanted to be at this point in time. And like it's days like that when it'll come up, I literally force myself to just sit in silence. I turn off everything. I just sit down and I sit in silence and I think about all the things that I've actually done and accomplished. And I'm like, girl, no, you're not a failure. You're far from it. You shouldn't be sad. Don't beat yourself up. You've done this, you've done this, you've done this. And then like if you're ever in my home, you'll hear me talking to myself out loud. I'll just be talking to myself and listing it because saying it out loud helps me to lock into it. So being hard on myself and and putting myself down. That's something. The question was, what do you not do anymore? Well, I forgot the question. Girl, what's the question?
So what's one thing that you would change about
Change.
yourself?
That's
Yeah.
Thank you, my love. Yes. So definitely change the perception, the negative talk. That's the word. Negative talk. I would change that. And we're still working on it, but I'm pretty good with it now. Negative talk.
Okay. So mine is my passivity
Oh,
is one thing that I would definitely change. Letting things like I've always water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back. And I'm just gonna keep making it happen and keep moving forward. And at this point, I guess it's something like what you said about, just saying it in the moment. But I would also say just even the passivity of my own um, thoughts and my own feelings really is really where it is that I have feelings and then I'm just like, "Oh, okay," and I just let them go versus like I would never let anybody be taken advantage of or be passive like you or any friend or my children or anyone I know. I wouldn't let them be passive, but for myself, I'm just like, okay. So that's one thing I definitely would change, and I'm working on changing is being passive. What's a hard lesson you learned this year?
to cherish each day because you don't know when it could be your last. That's a recent one. Um, when you're running through your life, moving through your day as if everything is okay, and when loved ones have near death experiences, and you realize, oh crap, we've taken precautions, we've done what we're supposed to do, and we may still have some issues that arise. And so I know this one sounds really mushy, but it's true. Cherish that time, you know, and don't put stuff off too within that cherishing of time. Stop waiting to do the big thing. Just do it. Plan it. Execute. What are you waiting on? Tomorrow's not promised.
100%. I love that. I love that. The hardest lesson I learned this year is that people don't care. They don't care about your loyalty, your support, your understanding, and your friendship that you have towards them. Um, if something will benefit them, they will stab you in the
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they won't stab you in the back, they'll stab you in your front.
They'll stab you in front. They'll do it right in front of your face.
Um, that's been the hardest lesson that I've learned because I am a very, when I open up, because Jolanda said I will probably disagree, but when I open up, I'm a very giving person
I would never
when I
disagree
open up
with that.
because I'm very standoffish.
Yeah, you're
But
more
when I
mushy
do
than I
open
am.
up,
And people look at us and they be like, "Oh, you're so mushy." I'm like, "I'm not the mushy one. She's the
I am.
mushy one."
I'm the mushy. Yes, Jolanda's definitely. She is more of the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I'm very, very loyal
Mhm.
to the people that I love and the people that I care about. And if I see anything, I'm your biggest cheerleader and I'm your biggest warrior.
Mhm.
And I learned this year that being a cheerleader for someone who is not going to cheer for themselves is not worth it.
Mhm.
And I also learned that the that the person that you fight the most for, um, and if they're not willing to fight for themselves, it's not worth it because they will take your kindness, both of those situations will take your kindness and flip it into your face and make you feel like you did something wrong. So, yeah.
They'll try to, but they're not that smart.
Hmm? Okay.
Just mumbling.
Okay.
Whew, these are
And
good. You got more?
the last one that I have is what is one goal for 2026 that you have, and it's a shareable goal.
Okay, shareable
So,
goal.
because
Um,
she's very secretive if y'all don't know. She
oh,
doesn't like
because
sharing
when you
things. Oh, I
tell,
know. I was gonna
okay,
say it. She doesn't like sharing things because sometimes, well, a lot of times, people like to
sabotage
poo-poo
it.
on things.
Yeah. So I show
So,
you stuff when it's done. But a shareable goal, because this is no secret, I've already mentioned it, is the full completion of my website. And literally, the sick, sad truth of it is it's complete. I just haven't launched it. I haven't pushed, launch. So um, to actually go ahead and push that and to finish the
payment.
production of the items that are going on my website because they're things I'm making myself. So I haven't completed finishing them because I'm nervous and being hard on myself, and I want it to be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfection, which I tell Olivia all the time when with her business. So uh, that's my goal. That's my big one, to have that launched and active, and I have nothing holding me back. And now I've said it publicly, so I got to do it. What about you?
A public goal would be to relaunch Piper's Muse.
Okay.
I've been working on that for a while and actually launching it again. Um, and the other goal is to tap back into me, like fully invest in myself like I did before I started working again outside of the home. Um, and tap back into myself because I make magic when I tap back into myself.
Most definitely.
So those are my goals.
Olivia,
Yeah.
are you happy?
Am I happy right now? The second?
No, no,
Yes,
in
right now,
general.
the second.
In general.
Hmm. In general, I will say mm, probably not.
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. I sometimes, we all aren't. And I should have probably even narrowed that down more because I'm like, that's still a big question. Do
Hmm.
you wake up with joy?
Some days.
Some days.
Hmm.
That's a big step for you.
Hmm.
And I'm proud of you.
Hmm.
I do some days too. More now than not. Most
Hmm.
days I wake up and I'm very excited about the day and I look forward to the day. Um, and as she knows, it's been a long time to get there, to just wake up with joy. So I want to ask you if you wake
So
up.
I will also add this. I woke up a lot more with joy and a lot more of happiness when I was my own boss. Um, Working for other people has never brought me joy ever, ever in my life. Even when I was 16 years old and got my first job, that's never brought me joy.
Okay.
Never brought me, oh God, I can't wait to go to work. None of that.
Oh, really?
Um, I've never. ever said I've ever wanted to work, ever in my life. I knew I had to
Mm-hmm.
because I had to take care of myself. I also knew I had to because the world at the time was not so nice to entrepreneurs that are female and black. Um, and at the time, the propaganda was push college, 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 and then get a job and work 9 to 5 and work until you're 35 years to get that gold watch or whatever the retirement gift was and keep it pushing. Um, so that's never been. So for me, like I said, when you ask me, do I wake up? Usually no, because I have to give my time and my energy to something that is not
Yeah.
the
Well, at least
true
you know
passion of
what
my
would make
life.
you happy.
Hmm?
At least you know what would
Yeah.
give you the joy.
It's
So
not my
that's
true passion in life. Now, yes, I do it well. That
okay.
I do it well. I love what I do,
Okay.
or let me not say I love it. I like what I do,
Okay.
but it's not what would wake me up every morning. If someone said running my own business and working, what would pop me up without an alarm clock? It's running my own business
Okay.
versus having to clock in and work for someone else. And that's anything. That would be, like I said, from the time I was 16 and started working. That's never been anything.
Okay. Thanks for lightening the mood.
Well, my friend always says, well, we gotta change the mood. So
Yeah, you end on a positive, on a high note. You don't
yeah,
want that
yeah.
negative energy.
Um, last thing I want to ask is what, because December's not over yet. What is your last goal for this month? What is the one thing
Remember?
you want to accomplish or even for this month?
No, I'm good. I'm good for 2025, actually. I'm already in 2026 and what I'm doing. So, no, I'm really good. What about you? You have one?
My planning.
You're
I have
planning?
a planning, PLANNING, planning.
Okay.
My planning for or my roadmap of what 2026 will look like.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's my last thing I have to do
Okay.
um, for things to happen. Because for me, I need a checklist. So I have to write it down so that I can check it out. So that's the last thing
Oh,
I have to
excuse me. This is not you. I'm cold. So I wanna cuddle with and get under my blanket, but
do. Hmm.
we got on our tanks today, so I wanted to be in uniform. So
So silly, so silly. All right. Anything else, baby girl, that we want to share?
I will say thank you for making me watch that docu-series because I was not gonna watch it. It did what I thought it was gonna do, which was make me angry. However, I learned some things that I didn't know. So
Hmm.
I do appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for opening my eyes to some things that I pushed against and making me be more open. So thank you
You're
for
welcome.
asking me to do that. Um, and that's it. I look forward to next week
I
and
do too.
hopefully finding out what's going on with Carmen since we ain't talked to her in 10 years.
Well, we definitely will have a lot to catch up on and, you know, share with each other. So until then, it has been great talking to all of you, and we will see you next week. The C, O, and J, hopefully. O and J are signing off from Beyond the First Chapter, and we will see you next week. Bye.